Admiral Tejo stood in the center of the massive chamber. Around him, 12 different alien species sat in a perfect circle, their eyes, tentacles, and other strange body parts all focused on him. The air felt heavy and cold. He could hear his own heartbeat. The Galactic Council had called this meeting. Tejo knew why he was here. Humanity was in trouble. Dr. Hai Jin stood beside him. She was Earth's best scientist and his closest friend. Her face looked calm, but Tejo could see worry in her eyes. Behind them stood Captain Dongwu, young but brave. Minister Jin'e, Earth's top diplomat, sat in the human section looking pale. The Valtari spoke first. These aliens looked like tall, thin ghosts made of blue light. Their leader's voice echoed in everyone's mind. Humanity has been part of our council for 50 years, the Valtari said. In that time, you have grown too fast. You build too many weapons. You expand to too many worlds. You fight too much. Tejo wanted to speak, but he waited. The council had rules. He had to listen first. An ancient Krex moved forward. These creatures looked like giant rocks with arms. This one was very old, maybe 1,000 years. Its voice sounded like grinding stone. We have watched your species carefully, the Krex said. You are aggressive. You solve problems with violence. You do not think before you act. This makes other species afraid. Now other council members began to speak. The bird-like Thylar complained about human military bases near their space. The water-dwelling Aquan said human ships moved too fast through their systems. The plant-like Verdani worried about human terraforming destroying natural worlds. Each complaint hit Tejo like a punch. Yes, humans built strong militaries. Yes, they expanded quickly. Yes, they sometimes fought. But they also helped other species. They shared technology. They protected weak worlds from pirates and invaders. We have made a decision, the Valtari announced. Humanity is no longer welcome in the Galactic Council. You must leave our space immediately. The chamber fell silent. Minister Jin'e gasped. Even Captain Dongwu, who rarely showed emotion, looked shocked. Dr. Hyejin grabbed Tejo's arm. Wait, Tejo said, stepping forward. We can discuss this. Humanity has contributed much to the Council. We have helped in wars. We have shared our discoveries. We have followed your laws. Your contributions are noted, the Krex replied, but your nature remains unchanged. You are too dangerous to remain among civilized species. We offer you 2 choices, the Valtari continued. First, you may return to your home system, destroy all your weapons, accept permanent monitoring from Council forces, live quietly and never expand again. Tejo's jaw tightened. That was not really a choice. That was surrender. Or, the Valtari said, you may leave Council space forever. Go beyond the rim. Never return. This is exile, but it is freedom. Minister Jin'e stood up. Honored Council members, please reconsider. Humanity can change. We can be less aggressive. Give us another chance. The decision is final, the Krex said. Choose now. Tejo looked at his team. Dr. Hyejin nodded slightly. Captain Dongwu stood straighter. Minister Jin'e looked sad but determined. They all knew what he would choose. We choose exile, Tejo said clearly. Humanity will leave Council space. But we go with our honor intact. Some Council members looked relieved. Others seemed disappointed they would not get to monitor and control humanity. The Valtari floated closer. You have 1 month to leave, it said. Take your people, your ships, your belongings. After that, any human found in Council space will be destroyed. Understood, Tejo replied. As the Council session ended, the various alien species began to leave. The Valtari leader came very close to Tejo. Its ghostly form felt cold. A warning, Admiral, it whispered directly into his mind. The outer rim is where empires go to die. There's nothing there but darkness, hostile aliens, and death. You are leading your people to extinction. Tejo stared into the creature's glowing eyes. Maybe, or maybe we will build something new out there. Something better than this council. The Valtari laughed, a sound like breaking glass. Impossible. You are just one species. We are 12 with thousands of years of civilization. You cannot survive alone. We will see, Tejo said. The human delegation left the chamber. In the corridors of Nexus Station, other species stared at them. Some looked happy to see the humans leaving. Others seemed worried about what this meant for the galaxy. Back in their quarters, the humans held an emergency meeting. Minister Jin'e was crying. 50 years of work, she said. All gone. How will we tell Earth? We tell them the truth, Tejo replied. The Council feared us because we are strong. They want us weak and controlled. We chose freedom instead. Dr. Heijin was already working on her computer. I am calculating how many ships we need, how many people we can move, where we might go. The outer rim is dangerous, Captain Dongwu said. Unknown species, uncharted space, limited resources. Everything worthwhile is dangerous, Taeho replied. Our ancestors left Earth with much less than we have now. They built an interstellar civilization. We can do the same. Within hours, messages were sent to Earth and all human colonies. The response was immediate and overwhelming. Almost no one wanted to submit to Council control. Millions of humans volunteered for exile. Taeho stood at the observation deck looking at the stars beyond Council space. Somewhere out there was humanity's future. It would be difficult. Many would die. But they would be free. Dr. Heijin joined him. Are you sure about this? No, he admitted. But I am sure about the alternative. If we stay and accept their terms, humanity dies slowly. If we leave, we might die quickly, but we might also become something amazing. The outer rim, she said quietly. The outer rim, he agreed. The great exodus began the next day. Every human military ship, every colony vessel, every research station, every trading post began moving toward the edge of Council space. It was the largest migration in galactic history. As the last human ships left Nexus Station, Taeho sent one final message to the Council. You wanted us gone because you feared what we might become, he said. Now you will find out if your fears were justified. The stars ahead were dark and unknown, but they were free stars, and that made all the difference. 6 months had passed since the great exodus began. Admiral Taeho stood on the bridge of his flagship, looking at the 3 star systems humanity now called home. The view was beautiful but harsh. These suns were older and dimmer than Earth's sun. The planets were harder to live on. Daily report, Admiral, Captain Dongwu said, approaching with his tablet. The young officer looked tired. Everyone looked tired these days. Give me the numbers, Taeho said. We have established colonies on 7 worlds across 3 systems. Population is stable at just over 1 million. Food production is meeting basic needs. Mineral extraction is below target by 30%. Taeho nodded. The numbers were better than last month, but still not good enough for long-term survival. Dr. Heijin entered the bridge, carrying a sample case. Her hair was shorter now, and she had lost weight like everyone else, but her eyes still sparkled with curiosity. I have news, she said. Good news for once. She opened the case, revealing a strange blue crystal that seemed to glow from within. We found this on the 4th planet in the Kepler system, she explained. It is unlike anything in Council space. The energy output is incredible. One small piece could power a city. Taeho picked up the crystal. It felt warm and seemed to pulse with life. How much of this exists? He asked. Preliminary scans suggest vast deposits on at least 12 worlds in our territory. But Admiral, there is more. This crystal seems to react to human biosignatures. It works better for us than for other species. This was indeed good news. Since leaving Council space, humanity had struggled with basic resources. These crystals could change everything. General Kyung-ho joined them on the bridge. The army commander was a large man with scars from the border wars with pirates. Admiral, we need to talk about security, he said. My scouts report alien activity in the neighboring systems. Some friendly, some not so friendly. Details, Taeho ordered. System designation RIM 7 contains a species called the Kemal. Reptilian, advanced technology, but not as advanced as ours. They have been trying to contact us for weeks. And the unfriendly ones? Pirates mostly. Some unknown alien raiders. They attack our outer colonies and run before we can respond. We need better ships. This brought them to their biggest problem. Humanity had left Council space with their existing fleet. The ships were good, but they were designed for Council technology and tactics. Out here they needed something different. Engineer So Young had been working on this exact problem. She was young for such an important job, but her designs were brilliant. I think I have a solution, she said, activating a holographic display. I call it the RIM-class battleship. The hologram showed a sleek warship unlike any human vessel before. It was larger than a Council cruiser, but more maneuverable than a dreadnought. The design incorporates Dr. Heijin's energy crystals, So Young explained. This gives us more power than any Council ship. I have also studied the alien technology we captured from pirates. Their shield systems are primitive but incredibly efficient. How long to build one? Tejo asked. With our current resources, about 4 months for the first ship. After that, we can build one every 6 weeks. Captain Miran, who commanded the civilian colony ships, had been listening quietly. She was older than the others and had experience managing large populations. We can support this, she said. The colonies are stable enough now. We can divert resources to military production. But Admiral, we need to think about our future. Are we building ships to defend ourselves or to fight our way back to Council space? It was a good question. Many humans wanted revenge against the Council. Others just wanted to be left alone. A few even wanted to return home and accept Council terms. For now, we build to defend ourselves, Tejo decided. But we prepare for all possibilities. Over the following weeks, the first Rim-class battleship took shape in orbit around the industrial world of Haven. Meanwhile, Captain Dongwu led scouting missions deeper into the Outer Rim. He returned with surprising news. The Kamal want to meet, he reported. They claim they have been fighting Council expansion for decades. They want to form an alliance. Can we trust them? General Kyung-ho asked. I think so, Dongwu replied. They have been honest so far. And Admiral, they are not the only ones. I detected at least 4 other species in nearby systems. All of them seem to have problems with the Council. Dr. Hee-jin was excited by this possibility. If we could form alliances, share technology, combine resources, we could build something the galaxy has never seen, Tejo finished. A confederation of free species. The meeting with the Kamal took place on a neutral world. Tejo, Dr. Hee-jin, and Captain Dongwu took a small escort fleet. They did not know what to expect. The Kamal leader was named Reshka. He was tall and covered in green scales with intelligent yellow eyes. He spoke through a translation device. Humans, he said, we have watched your exile. The Council calls you dangerous. This tells us you must be good people. Tejo laughed despite the situation. That is an interesting way to judge character. The Council has been expanding into our space for 50 years, Reshka continued. They demand we give up our independence, accept their laws, pay their taxes. We refuse, so they call us primitives and pirates. What do you propose? Dr. Hee-jin asked. Alliance. We have resources you need. You have technology we need. Together we can resist Council expansion. The negotiations took 3 days. In the end, they reached an agreement. The Kamal would provide raw materials, safe harbors, and knowledge of local space. Humanity would provide advanced technology, military protection, and industrial capability. When Tejo returned to the human colonies, he found Engineer So Young waiting with a smile. The first Rim-class battleship is complete, she announced. I have named her the Independence. The ship was beautiful and deadly. Its hull gleamed with alien metals. Energy crystals pulsed along its sides. Weapon systems that combined human and alien technology bristled from every surface. She is faster than any Council ship, So Young explained during the tour. More heavily armed than a dreadnought, and thanks to the alien shield technology, almost impossible to destroy. Captain Dongwu was given command of the Independence. His first mission was to patrol the border and protect the colonies from raiders. He did not have to wait long for action. A pirate fleet attacked the mining station at Kepler 4. Dongwu arrived with the Independence and 2 older human cruisers. The battle lasted only minutes. The pirates had never seen anything like the Independence. Their weapons barely scratched its shields. Its return fire destroyed 3 pirate ships instantly. The survivors fled in panic. News of the victory spread quickly through the Outer Rim. More alien species asked to meet with the humans. The Thek, insect-like creatures with incredible manufacturing ability. The Neem, gaseous beings who excelled at information gathering. Others followed. Within months, what had started as human exile had become something much larger. They called it the Rim Coalition. Tejo stood again on his flagship's bridge, but now he looked at more than just 3 human systems. The coalition controlled dozens of star systems and included 5 different species. Admiral, Dr. Hee-jin said, joining him at the observation deck. I have been analyzing our growth rate. If we continue at this pace, we will be larger than some Council member species within 2 years. And that will get their attention, Tejo replied. Are you ready for that? Tejo thought about the Valtry's warning. The Outer Rim was supposed to be where empires died. Instead, they were building something new here. something that might one day challenge the Council itself. "The question is not whether I am ready," he said. "The question is whether they are ready for us." 2 years had passed since the first alliance with the Kamal. The Rim Coalition had grown beyond anyone's expectations. Admiral Tejo stood in the war room of New Geneva Station, the Coalition's new headquarters. Around the table sat representatives from 8 different species. The room buzzed with activity. Holographic displays showed Coalition territory spanning over 100 star systems. Ship production reports scrolled past showing hundreds of new vessels. Population counts revealed over 50 million beings now called the Coalition home. The Thyler Patrol found something interesting, Commander Jamin reported. He led the Ghost Squadron, the Coalition's elite special forces. His team could move unseen through enemy space and gather intelligence. Jamin activated a holographic display showing a Council fleet positioned just inside their border. 12 ships, including 2 heavy cruisers, he continued. They have been watching our border for 3 weeks. Yesterday, they sent probe drones into Coalition space. Dr. Hai Jin, now Director of Coalition Science, leaned forward. Her latest project had been developing better communication systems. The Coalition covered too much space for normal messages to work well. "This could be the test we have been expecting," she said. "The Council wants to see how we respond to border violations." Admiral Hyun Woo, who now commanded the Coalition Navy, studied the display. He was older than Tejo but had proven himself an excellent fleet commander. "We have 18 ships within 2 days' travel of that position," he said, "including 4 of the new Rim-class battleships. We could drive them off easily. But should we?" asked Captain Miran. She now served as Coalition Administrator, managing the complex task of governing multiple species. An attack on Council forces could be seen as an act of war. Tejo considered the options. The Coalition had grown strong, but they were not ready for a full war with the Council. "Not yet, we respond but carefully," he decided. "Captain Dongwu, take 3 ships to the border. Demand the Council forces withdraw. If they refuse, escort them out, but avoid shooting if possible." Dongwu, now commanding a full squadron, nodded. "Understood, Admiral." While Dongwu prepared for his mission, Dr. Hae-jin approached Tejo privately. "I have something to show you," she said, leading him to her laboratory. "Something that could change everything." In the center of the lab stood a device that looked like a crystal sculpture mixed with alien technology. It glowed with the same blue light as the energy crystals they had discovered. "What is it?" Tejo asked. "Instant communication across any distance," Heejin explained. "I call it the Quantum Link Network. We can send messages from here to the furthest Coalition world immediately." Tejo stared at the device. In a civilization spread across hundreds of light years, instant communication was incredibly valuable. "The Council has nothing like this," Heejin continued. "It takes them weeks to coordinate between distant fleets. We could command our entire military in real time. How soon can you build more of these?" "I already have. There is one on every Coalition world and every major ship. We just activated the network this morning." This was revolutionary. The Coalition now had a major advantage over any enemy, including the Council. Captain Dongwu's voice came through the communication system. "Admiral, we have reached the Council fleet. They are demanding we withdraw from Council space. I have explained this is Coalition territory." "What is their response?" Tejo asked. "They are powering up weapons, sir." Tejo and his staff hurried to the command center. The main display showed Dongwu's 3 ships facing the Council patrol. The tension was visible even through the tactical display. "Sir," Dongwu reported, "the Council commander says they do not recognize Coalition authority. They claim the right to patrol these systems under galactic security provisions." "And what did you tell them?" Tejo asked. "I told them the Coalition recognizes no such authority. I have given them 1 hour to withdraw or be escorted out." Admiral Hyunwoo was already moving additional ships toward the border. "Admiral, I can have a full battle group there in 4 hours." "Do it," Tejo ordered. "But maintain defensive positions unless fired upon." The hour passed slowly. Finally, Dongwu reported again. "Sir, the Council fleet is moving, but not withdrawing. They are taking aggressive positions. Are they targeting you?" "Yes, sir." "Weapons locked on my flagship." Tejo made a decision that would change galactic history. "Captain Dongwu, you are authorized to defend yourself in Coalition space. If they fire, return fire, but try to disable rather than destroy." "Understood, sir." The first shots came from the Council heavy cruiser. Blue energy beams struck Dongwu's flagship but were absorbed by its advanced shields. All ships, return fire, Dongwu commanded. The coalition ships opened fire with weapons that combined human precision with alien power. The energy crystals provided more power than council ships could generate. Alien shield technology protected the coalition vessels while they hammered their enemies. The battle lasted only 20 minutes. 2 council ships were destroyed, 4 more were disabled, and the rest fled. The coalition ships suffered only minor damage. Border secured, Admiral, Dongwu reported. Council forces are retreating at maximum speed. The command center erupted in cheers. It was the coalition's first military victory against council forces. But Taeho knew this was just the beginning. Within days, messages arrived from across the galaxy. Some council members demanded immediate retaliation, others called for negotiations. Several outer worlds asked to join the coalition. Scientist Yunji, Dr. Hyejin's assistant, brought news from deep space monitoring stations. Admiral, we are detecting massive fleet movements in council space, she reported. At least 30 ships moving toward our borders. They are planning something big, Admiral Hyunwoo said. Probably a major offensive to crush us before we get stronger. How long do we have? Taeho asked. Based on their travel speed, about 2 months. Taeho looked around the room at his commanders. 2 months to prepare for the largest battle in coalition history. We knew this day would come, he said. The council will never accept our independence. If they want a war, we will give them one they will never forget. Engineer So Young spoke up from her position at the technical station. Admiral, I have been working on new ship designs, larger than anything we have built before, but I need authorization to begin construction. You have it, Taeho said immediately. Build whatever you think we need. Over the following weeks, the coalition prepared for war. New alliances were formed with species who had grievances against the council. Production facilities worked around the clock building ships and weapons. Intelligence networks mapped council fleet positions. The coalition's greatest advantage was unity. 8 species working together, sharing their best technologies and tactics. Humans provided leadership and innovation. Kemal provided raw materials and hardy ground troops. Thek manufactured equipment with incredible precision. Neem gathered intelligence across vast distances. Captain Dongwu was promoted to admiral and given command of the First Fleet. His victory at the border had made him a hero throughout coalition space. Council thinks we are still the same species they exiled, he told his captains during a strategy meeting. They think we are alone and desperate. They are about to learn how wrong they are. Dr. Hyejin's quantum communication network allowed perfect coordination between all coalition forces. For the first time in galactic history, a military force could act as one mind across hundreds of star systems. The council attack came exactly when predicted. 37 ships, including 5 dreadnoughts, crossed into coalition space at 3 different points. All coalition fleets, this is Admiral Taeho, he broadcast across the network. Today we show the galaxy that free people can defend themselves against any tyranny. All ships, engage the enemy. The Battle of the Rim began with the largest space engagement in recorded history. Council forces expected to face desperate colonists with inferior ships. Instead, they met a unified fleet using tactics and technology they had never encountered. Coalition ships moved like schools of fish, perfectly coordinated through the quantum network. Human strategic thinking combined with alien intuition created battle plans that confused and overwhelmed council commanders. The battle raged for 6 hours across 3 star systems. When it ended, the council fleet was destroyed or scattered. Coalition losses were minimal. As news of the victory spread, something unexpected happened. 3 council worlds declared independence and asked to join the coalition. 6 more worlds suspended their cooperation with council authorities. Standing on his flagship's bridge, looking at the wreckage of the council fleet, Taeho realized the war was entering a new phase. Admiral, Dr. Hyejin said, joining him at the observation window. Intelligence reports suggest the council is recalling fleets from across the galaxy. They are preparing for total war. Good, Taeho replied. We are ready. 5 years had passed since the Battle of the Rim. The coalition had become the Rim Empire, stretching across 400 star systems. Emperor Taeho, though he still preferred to be called Admiral, stood in the throne room of New Earth, the Empire's capital world. The room was filled with representatives from dozens of species. What had started as an alliance of 8 races had grown into a galactic power that rivaled the old council. "Intelligence report, Your Imperial Majesty," Commander Jamin said, approaching the throne. His ghost squadron had become the Empire's eyes and ears throughout the galaxy. Tejo still felt uncomfortable with formal titles, but the Empire needed ceremony to hold together so many different cultures. "What news from Council space?" he asked. "Civil unrest on 12 worlds," Jamin reported. 3 more systems have declared independence. The Thyler home fleet has split in half with one faction joining us. And Your Imperial Majesty, the Council is preparing something they call Operation Cleansing Storm. Dr. Hyojin, now Empress and head of Imperial Science, approached from her research station. Marriage to Tejo had been as much political as personal, uniting human leadership and showing other species that the Empire valued both strength and wisdom. "Our deep space sensors detected massive fleet movements," she said. 6 full battle fleets, over 200 ships. They are converging on our core systems. Fleet Admiral Dongwu, now commanding the Imperial Navy, studied the tactical display. His hair had gone gray in 5 years of constant warfare, but his mind was as sharp as ever. "This is their largest offensive yet," he said. "They mean to end the war with one decisive blow." General So Young, head of Imperial Production, had been overseeing the construction of new super dreadnoughts in the outer shipyards. "Our new Titan-class battleships are ready," she reported. 20 ships, each one larger than a Council dreadnought. Plus the new planetary defense networks are online. Ambassador Jinne, who had spent years building diplomatic relationships, brought different news. "Your Imperial Majesty, we have received secret communications from 4 Council species. They want to negotiate switching sides, but they need guarantees about their treatment in the Empire." This was the Empire's greatest challenge. How do you govern dozens of different species fairly? Some humans wanted to rule over the aliens. Some aliens feared human domination. Creating unity from such diversity required constant work. "What are their main concerns?" Tejo asked. "Representation in the Imperial Senate. Protection of their cultural practices. Economic autonomy for their home systems." "Acceptable," Tejo decided. "We are building an empire of equals, not an empire of slaves." Captain Miran, now Prime Administrator, had been working on these exact issues. Governing 400 star systems required new forms of organization. "The new Imperial Charter is ready for your approval," she said. "It guarantees equal representation for all species, protects cultural rights, and establishes clear limits on Imperial authority." The Charter was revolutionary. No galactic government had ever given such rights to member species, but Tejo believed it was necessary for long-term stability. "Approved," he said. "Distribute copies to all worlds, including the Council species considering defection." The Council's massive offensive began 3 days later. Operation Cleansing Storm lived up to its name. 6 battle fleets struck at the heart of Imperial space, targeting the capital world of New Earth and the major industrial centers. The space around New Earth became a battlefield unlike anything the galaxy had ever seen. Over 300 ships fought in a battle that lasted 2 full days. Emperor Tejo commanded the defense from his flagship, the massive super dreadnought Unity. Around him, his best commanders coordinated the most complex military operation in history. "4th Fleet is engaged at Kepler Prime," reported Admiral Hyunwoo. "Enemy forces attempting to break through to the industrial stations." 7th Fleet holding position at the neutral zone junction, added Fleet Admiral Dongwu. "Council reinforcements trying to cut our supply lines." The battle raged across multiple star systems simultaneously. Imperial forces used their quantum communication network to coordinate perfectly, while Council fleets struggled with communication delays across such vast distances. Dr. Hyojin had developed new weapons specifically for this battle. Energy crystals now powered beam weapons that could slice through any known armor. Alien shield technology had been improved to absorb and redirect enemy fire. "Imperial forces, this is your Emperor," Tejo broadcast across all fleets. "Today the galaxy watches to see if free beings can stand against tyranny. Show them the power of unity." The turning point came when the defecting Council species made their choice. In the middle of the battle, 12 Council ships suddenly turned and began firing on their former allies. "This is Admiral Kethvar of the Thyler Liberation Fleet," came a transmission. "We stand with the Empire." Similar messages came from other species. The Council's own forces were turning against them. The Battle of New Earth ended in complete Imperial victory. 4 Council fleets were destroyed, 1 fled to deep space and 1 surrendered intact. Imperial losses were heavy but manageable, but the war was far from over. The Council still controlled the inner galaxy and had vast reserves of ships and soldiers. Your Imperial Majesty, Commander Jamin reported weeks after the battle. Our intelligence networks report the Council is collapsing from within. 15 species have declared neutrality. 8 more are in open revolt. Empress Hyojin brought scientific reports from across Imperial space. The new industrial worlds are producing ships faster than we can train crews, she said. We now have numerical superiority over remaining Council forces. General So Young had been developing new weapon systems. The planet killer missiles are ready, she reported quietly. 1 ship could destroy an entire world. Teho looked at the weapon specifications with horror. The Empire had the power to commit genocide on a galactic scale. Seal those weapons, he ordered, never to be used except to prevent the complete destruction of the Empire. Sir? So Young looked confused. We are not conquerors, Teho explained. We are liberators. We fight to free the galaxy from Council tyranny, not to rule through fear. This decision would define the Empire's character. They had the power to destroy their enemies completely, but chose restraint instead. The final phase of the war began when Imperial forces launched their first offensive into core Council space. Fleet Admiral Dong Wu led a massive armada toward the Council capital at Nexus Station. The advance was swift and devastating. World after world surrendered without fighting. Entire Council fleets defected to the Empire. The quantum communication network allowed perfect coordination of dozens of simultaneous operations. Your Imperial Majesty, Ambassador Jin A reported from the diplomatic center. We have received a surrender offer from the Valtteri High Command. Teho remembered the ghostly alien who had warned him that the Outer Rim was where empires died. What are their terms? He asked. Complete surrender of military forces, acceptance of Imperial authority, trials for war crimes committed during the conflict. Counteroffer, Teho said. Surrender of military forces, yes. Integration into the Empire as equal members, not conquered subjects. No war crimes trials unless they committed genocide. The generosity surprised everyone, including his own commanders. Sir, General Kyung-ho said, they exiled us. They tried to destroy us. Why show mercy? Because, Teho replied, we are not them. We are building something better. The war officially ended when Imperial forces captured Nexus Station without firing a shot. The Council government had simply collapsed, with most species either joining the Empire or declaring independence. Standing once again in the Council chambers where he had been exiled, Emperor Teho addressed the galaxy. The Galactic Council is dissolved, he announced. The Rim Empire offers membership to all species who desire freedom, equality, and peace. We do not conquer. We liberate. The transformation was remarkable. What had started as humanity's exile had become the foundation for a new galactic civilization based on cooperation rather than domination. Fleet Admiral Dong Wu approached after the ceremony. Your Imperial Majesty, what are your orders for the remaining Council holdouts? Teho looked out at the stars, now mostly under Imperial protection. We wait, he said. Freedom cannot be forced on people. They will join us when they are ready, or they will remain independent. Either choice is acceptable. The galaxy had a new ruler, but this ruler believed in liberty above all else. It was a revolution that would reshape civilization for centuries to come. 10 years had passed since Emperor Teho first stood in the Council chambers as an exile. Now he stood in the same room as ruler of the galaxy. But the chamber had changed. The old circular design that put Council species above others had been replaced with a democratic assembly where all species sat as equals. The Imperial Senate was in session. Representatives from over 40 species debated the future of galactic civilization. It was noisy, chaotic, and sometimes heated. But it was free. The Kamal representative has the floor, announced Prime Minister Jin-A, who now served as head of the imperial government under Emperor Teho. Reshka, the same Kamal leader who had first allied with humanity, spoke from his seat. The Empire has kept its promises, he said through his translator. Our worlds are free. Our culture is protected. Our people prosper. But some species still fear human domination. Murmurs filled the chamber. It was an old concern, but an important one. Emperor Taeho stood to address the Senate. Even after 10 years of rule, he preferred simple military uniforms to royal robes. "Honored representatives," he began, "I understand these fears. Humans led the rebellion against the Council. Human ships won the great battles. Human technology built this empire. But we did not build it for humans alone." He gestured toward the diverse assembly. "Look around this chamber. Kemal warriors who fought beside us from the beginning. Tech engineers who built our greatest ships. Neem spies who gathered intelligence across the galaxy. Thyler pilots who defected from the Council fleet. Dozens of species who chose freedom over security." Fleet Admiral Dong Wu, now serving as Imperial Defense Minister, approached the podium. "Your Imperial Majesty, I have the latest reports from the frontier," he said quietly. 3 more independent worlds have asked to join the Empire, but the Valtari Confederation and the Krex Republic remain hostile. The old council had not completely disappeared. Several species had formed smaller confederations rather than join the Empire. Most were peaceful, but some still harbored dreams of restoration. "What is their military strength?" Taeho asked. "Combined, they have maybe 50 modern warships. Not enough to threaten the Empire, but enough to cause trouble." Empress Hyojin, who had been working on new technologies, joined the conversation. "The quantum communication network now covers the entire galaxy," she reported. "Even neutral worlds have access to Imperial news and information services. This makes it harder for hostile governments to control their populations." Dr. Yunji, now head of the Imperial Science Academy, brought different news. "Your Imperial Majesty, we have detected signals from outside our galaxy. Intelligence suggests advanced civilizations exist beyond our borders." This was momentous. The Empire controlled most of the known galaxy, but apparently, the universe was much larger than anyone had imagined. "Are they hostile?" Taeho asked. "Unknown. The signals are too faint to decode, but they appear to be artificial, not natural phenomena." "Continue monitoring," Taeho ordered, "but do not attempt contact until we know more." The Senate session continued with debates about trade regulations, immigration policy, and colonial rights. It was the normal business of a functioning democracy, something the galaxy had never experienced before. General So-young, now Imperial Minister of Production, had been overseeing the transformation of former Council worlds into prosperous Imperial territories. "Productivity is up 30% across all sectors," she reported. "Former Council species are adapting well to free market economics. Some worlds that were poor under Council control are now major industrial centers. This economic success was crucial to Imperial stability. The old Council had extracted wealth from member worlds to support the core species. The Empire redistributed wealth to ensure all worlds could prosper." Commander Jaemin, head of Imperial Intelligence, brought concerning news from the edge of Imperial space. "Your Imperial Majesty, our deep space monitors have detected military buildup in Valtari space. They appear to be constructing some kind of superweapon." "Details," Taeho ordered. "Unknown technology, but energy readings suggest something capable of destroying entire fleets. Our spies report they call it the restoration device." This was troubling. The Empire's policy of mercy toward defeated enemies might be creating new threats. "Options?" Taeho asked his advisors. Admiral Hyunwoo, now serving as Strategic Planning Director, studied the intelligence reports. "We could launch a preemptive strike," he suggested. "Destroy the weapon before completion." "Absolutely not," Taeho replied immediately. "We do not attack unless attacked first. That principle is not negotiable." Prime Minister Jin-ae offered an alternative. "Diplomatic pressure. We have allies among their population, economic sanctions, information campaigns showing their people what life is like in the Empire." "Approved," Taeho said. "But prepare defensive measures as well." The Valtari crisis came to a head 6 months later. Intelligence reports confirmed they had built a massive space station capable of destroying entire planets. Worse, they were moving it toward Imperial space. Emperor Taeho called an emergency session of the Imperial Council, his closest advisors and military commanders. The restoration device is operational, Commander Jamin reported. Long-range sensors confirm it can destroy a planet with a single shot. They are demanding the Empire dissolve and all species return to Council rule. The chamber fell silent. This was the Empire's greatest test yet. Fleet Admiral Dongwu spoke first. We have over 1,000 warships in range. We could destroy their superweapon, but the cost would be enormous. Casualties? Taeho asked. Millions, both military and civilian. Empress Hyejin had been working on countermeasures. I believe I can neutralize their weapon, she said. But it requires getting very close to their space station. It would be a suicide mission. Out of the question, Taeho said firmly. Your Imperial Majesty, she replied. Sometimes leaders must make hard choices. Before anyone could respond, Commander Jamin received an urgent communication. Sir, we are receiving a transmission from within Valtari space. It is unexpected. The main display activated, showing a familiar ghostly figure. It was the same Valtari leader who had exiled humanity 10 years ago. Emperor Taeho, the alien said, its mental voice echoing in the chamber. I bring a message from my people. We surrender. Stunned silence filled the room. Explain, Taeho said. Our restoration device was a failure, the Valtari admitted. When we tested it, the weapon destroyed our own fleet instead of the target. My people no longer trust their government. They want to join your empire. It was an anticlimactic end to a major crisis, but typical of how the empire had grown. Most species joined voluntarily once they saw the benefits of imperial membership. What are your terms? Taeho asked. Complete integration. Full citizenship for all Valtari. Trials for government officials who ordered the weapon built. Counter terms, Taeho replied. Complete integration, yes. Full citizenship, yes. No trials unless gross violations of sentient rights occurred. The Valtari leader seemed surprised by the generosity. You show mercy to those who tried to destroy you? I show mercy because we are building a civilization based on hope, not fear, Taeho replied. With the Valtari integration, the Empire now included virtually every major species in the galaxy. Only a few holdout worlds remained independent, and most of those maintained peaceful relations. Emperor Taeho stood once more on the observation deck of his flagship, looking out at the stars. But now he was not looking at empty space. Every light in the sky represented worlds where billions of beings lived in freedom. Empress Hyejin joined him, as she had so many times before. Do you ever regret choosing exile? She asked. Taeho thought about the question. 10 years ago, he had been a disgraced admiral leading his people into the unknown. Now he ruled the largest civilization in galactic history. Never, he said. The Council was right about one thing. We humans are aggressive. But they never understood that we are most dangerous when we are united with others who share our dreams of freedom. A message arrived from the frontier. Another independent world was asking to join the Empire. Your Imperial Majesty, the communication officer reported. The planet Haven requests full membership. They cite imperial principles of equality and justice as their reason. Taeho smiled. Even now, the Empire continued to grow through attraction rather than conquest. Approved, he said. Send a welcome message and begin the integration process. As the message was sent, Dr. Yunji's voice came over the ship's communication system. Your Imperial Majesty, long-range sensors have detected something extraordinary. The signals from outside our galaxy are getting stronger. We may have company soon. Taeho looked up at the stars beyond the galactic rim. Humanity had been exiled to that darkness once. They had forged it into an empire. Whatever lay beyond would find not the divided, warring galaxy of the old council, but a united civilization ready for any challenge. Let them come, he said quietly. We will be ready. The empire that had begun with humanity's exile was now complete, but its greatest adventures might still lie ahead, among the stars of distant galaxies where new challenges and new friends awaited. Standing in the same chamber where he had once been judged and found wanting, Emperor Taeho had kept his promise to the Valtari leader, who had warned him so long ago.